Ignore that. Sorry. Next up, we have the proudly ignorant, it's just my opinion guy. This person hides behind the phrase, hey man, it's just my opinion. Yeah, cool, but your opinion is based on nothing. This guy thinks slapping it's just my opinion at the end of a sentence makes him immune from being wrong. I don't believe in dinosaurs. That's just my opinion. That's not an opinion. That's public school failure. This is the same guy who thinks opinions are equal to facts. He'll say, smoking causes cancer, and he'll go, well, I disagree. No. That's not how reality works. You can't disagree with lung disease. And when he runs out of things to say, he'll drop the ultimate defense. Agree to disagree. Nah, man, I'm not agreeing to disagree on whether birds are real. You just lost the argument, and now you're trying to hit the emergency exit. Next up, we got the I don't read flexer. This person straight up brags about being ignorant like it's his own personality trait. They'll say, I haven't read a book since middle school. Like, we're supposed to applaud that? Congrats, bro. You just admitted you haven't used your brain since Minecraft had Herobrine rumors. They treat knowledge like it's cringe. You try to talk about anything interesting, space, history, literally anything, and they'll go, that's nerd stuff. I don't get into all that. Not because they tried and don't like it, because they actively avoid learning out of, like, I don't know, boredom. It's like their brain is on airplane mode on purpose. They flex ignorance the same way people flex muscles, except one helps you lift weights, the other helps you argue with the McDonald's drive-thru speaker. So yeah, ignorance comes in many flavors. You've got the guy who only read one article and thinks he's a scientist, the girl who gets her medical advice from a Facebook meme, the friend who proudly announces that they don't read, and honestly, you can't even argue with them, because once someone says agree to disagree, you know you've hit rock bottom. So the moral of the story is that ignorance isn't just not knowing stuff anymore. It's a lifestyle, and some people are thriving in it. Let me know down in the comments which type you've met or been. It's okay. We've all had our I didn't do my own research phase. Just maybe don't be the guy who thinks dinosaurs are a government hoax. Like the video and subscribe if you haven't, or share this with someone who's definitely going to get mad watching this. Alright, bye. There are just some places on this planet that feel like a punishment, like you got spawned there as part of a side quest you didn't accept. Whether it's the weather, people, or the fact that it feels like a GTA lobby in real life, today we're talking about the worst places to live, and if you're from one of these places, I'm sorry, kinda. Starting it off with New York City, but if you're broke. Living in New York City sounds cool until you realize you're paying $3,000 a month to live in a glorified shoebox with a rat that thinks it's your roommate. You want groceries? Yeah, that's gonna be $50 for a bag of grapes. You wanna go outside? Yeah, cool. You'll get hit by a bike messenger and yelled at by someone dressed as Elmo. It's like a giant social experiment to see how long you can survive before snapping. You're gonna take the subway to save money? Cute. Now you're underground, it's 200 degrees, a guy's playing the recorder with his nose, and someone's screaming about lizard people. Oh, and the train's delayed indefinitely because someone's pet iguana was loose on the tracks. Again. And you think Central Park is gonna be your escape? No, you've got a toddler screaming, a guy filming a fitness vlog shirtless, and a pigeon that's eyeballing your sandwich. Dating in New York City? Yeah, good luck. Everyone's either a walking podcast or in between projects, which means unemployed with delusion. You match with someone and they ghost you after one date where you paid $19 at a smoothie bar. It's not romance, it's a psyop. And don't even think about having a car here. Parking is a gladiator sport. You'll pay half your rent for a spot the size of a yoga mat and still get towed because of alternate side rules that were probably written during the Revolutionary War. New York City has a lot to offer, but it comes at a price that most cannot pay. And even if you can pay it, the shenanigans that you'll encounter are just too much for some people. But let's say you can put up with the shenanigans, you can afford it. Well, don't think about living here long term, because if you want to have kids or start a family, that's gonna like 10x the amount of money you're gonna have to spend and change the way that you interact with the world. Your kids are gonna be traumatized the moment you step outside. There's gonna be homeless people asking your son for money, overstimulation from cars, loud noises, screaming slurs, and billboards. Things that will definitely take a toll on your offspring. Next up, we have a random desert town with one gas station. You ever drive through a town and think, who actually lives here? Like there's a population of 46 and you see all of them when you stop for gas. It's like 110 degrees, the sun is angry, and there's nothing but dust and people who look like NPCs. Like, you try to ask for directions and they look at you like you're an outsider. I can't name one of these places, but that's because none of them have names. Nobody lives there. They're like these little towns that you stop to pee at during a road trip, but then you realize that there's actual people that decided this is where they want to plant their roots. Imagine going your whole life living in a place that people primarily use as a bathroom and a 5-second stop to get cigarettes before they go to what actually matters, a place where people are actually existing. It is crazy. If it was part of a country I didn't know about, then that makes sense, but in America, why would you literally choose to live in a spot like this? I don't understand. Like, you walk into the gas station and it smells like beef jerky, cigs, and forgotten dreams. There's one worker behind the counter who looks like he's been there since the Reagan administration, and he just stares at you like, we don't get your kind around here. The snack aisle has exactly 2 options: expired Takis or brand gummy worms called Slithery Chews. You check your phone, no signal, not even one little bar. It's like Verizon said, you're on your own, dog. And there's always one rusty diner nearby with a sign that says open, but it hasn't been updated since 1987. You go in, there's like a jukebox playing some old song on loop. 3 old guys sitting at the corner who immediately stop talking when you walk in. Like, bro, I'm not here to uncover your secrets. I just want pancakes. Next up, we got suburban neighborhoods with no personality. You ever drive through a suburb and get sleepy? Everything is beige. All the houses are copy-pasted like a Sims build. HOA rules say you can't breathe too loud or your mailbox gets fined. You look out the window, you just see a kid riding a scooter like it's 2004 and a dad mowing the lawn in jeans. It's peaceful, but in a help me, I'm losing my mind way. Every driveway has the same minivan, the same basketball hoop with a cracked backboard, and a little patch of grass that's exactly 4.2 inches long for HOA compliance. You wave at your neighbor and they wave back like a malfunctioning animatronic, just enough to look alive. And the silence, oh, it's loud. It's not peaceful, it's suspicious. Like, it's the opening scene of a horror movie and nobody knows yet. The most exciting thing that's happened in the past 3 months is when your neighbor's dog got out and made it to the cul-de-sac before being captured by a group of dads with leaf blowers. You know, you always got one neighbor who takes Halloween way too seriously and then vanishes for the rest of the year. And heaven forbid you put your trash bins out past Tuesday morning. You're the talk of the town and you're treated like an outlaw. And don't even think about trying to throw a party here. It'll be over by 9 p.m. because one of your neighbors has work in the morning, but it's like Saturday night. Living in the suburbs is like being slowly absorbed into a beige void. You don't even realize it's happening, and then one day you wake up and you're arguing about mulch at a town meeting. If you grew up here, it's probably not a problem because you had school to entertain you and, you know, your friends made shit fun, but bro, I can't imagine being an adult in one of these towns. Like, what is there to even do? I feel like I haven't pissed enough people off with this video, so we're gonna name 5 states that I personally do not want to ever live in. Starting off with New Jersey. Okay, it's not all bad, but the bad parts are bad. The traffic is a war zone, the air smells like someone microwaved a tire, and every person you meet either yells at you or tries to sell you something off Craigslist, and it's aggressively expensive for what you're getting. You're paying NYC prices to live next to a turnpike and a landfill. Be serious. Next up, we got Utah. Now listen, it does have beautiful scenery and it's good for skiing, but it comes with weird laws, aggressive dryness, and like 87% of the population has one single haircut. There's no point in going there if you're not skiing or hiking. Next up, we got Nevada. Like, let's be real, Vegas is just Disneyland for people with gambling addictions and zero sleep schedules. You think you're having fun until you realize it's 3 a.m. Your debit card's crying and you've been handed 6 club flyers by a guy wearing an Avengers costume. Casinos are actual soul-eating machines. Like, there's no clocks, no windows, just lights, noise, and old people locked into slot machines like it's the Matrix. And when you leave Vegas, it's just miles of empty desert, gas stations that look like Fallout side quests. There's no middle ground. It's just chaos that will ruin your life for absolutely nothing to do. It's fun if you're at a hotel for a few nights, but I can't imagine living there. Next up, we got Mississippi. This is like the U.S. loading screen for poverty and bad decision. Statistically, the bottom tier in everything. Education, healthcare, income, you name it, they're losing in it. The roads are so bad, your car can get scoliosis. Half the towns feel like they were abandoned mid-Civil War, but there's still people living in them. And the weather, it's like breathing through a wet sock. You walk outside and immediately regret it. Living here is a mix of heat stroke and generational curses. Last but not least, we got California. Now listen, okay, if you live there, I get it. Like, it's cool, but it's like the overhyped main character of the US. You got the aesthetic, the influencers, the coastline, but then reality hits, and then you're paying $6 for gas while stepping over human feces outside of a Tesla dealership. California is like dating someone who's hot but who has no personality. It looks amazing until you actually try to live there. Rent is $3.5K for a closet, gas is more expensive than therapy, and you're sharing the sidewalk with a dude vaping meth next to a broken Lime scooter. San Francisco feels like a dystopian tech demo. It's all millionaires and misery. LA is traffic, influencers, and smog. And, you got wildfires up the wazoo, earthquakes. Mother Nature is just farming content. You can have a lot of fun in Cali, but it's going to cost you a lot of money, and if you don't have the money, you have to live in a shitty area, and the shitty areas are rampant in homelessness, drugs, and you name it. Anyway, those are some of the worst places to live. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. And if your stay got mentioned, I'm so sorry. Don't take it personally. Just kidding. Fuck you. Goodbye. Growing up, it felt like every adult in our lives was part of some secret conspiracy. They'd hype us up with all these big promises about adulthood being this incredible, magical experience. Spoiler alert, they lied. Whether it was teachers, parents, or those feel-good movies about following your dreams, they sold us a fantasy. And now that we're here, it's nothing like they said it would be. So today, we're unpacking the biggest lies that we were fed about growing up, and trust me, some of these will hit way too close to home. The first lie is that you can be anything you want. This is the OG lie they start telling you in kindergarten. Your teacher stands in front of the class like, you guys can be anything you want when you grow up. Astronaut? Sure. President? Of course. As kids, we took this to heart. I mean, I spent years thinking I was going to be a spy, like a literal secret agent. I even practiced sneaking around my house like I was in Mission Impossible. Turns out the real Mission Impossible is affording rent. What they didn't tell us is that being anything you want comes with a laundry list of conditions, like be anything you want as long as you're insanely talented, lucky, well-connected, and preferably born into a rich family. And if your dream is remotely artistic, good luck explaining that to your parents. Oh, you want to be an artist? Cool. So how are you gonna pay bills with that? It's like, thanks for the support. Growing up is coming to terms with the fact that you can do anything you want, but based on your conditions. You can eat whatever food you want if it's within your budget. You can live in whatever house that you want if it's in your budget. You get where I'm going with this. The second lie that we were told is that adults have everything figured out. Now, this wasn't expressly told to us, but this one kind of hits the hardest. As kids, we genuinely thought adults knew everything, like they were walking encyclopedias, always paying bills on time, fixing stuff around the house, and making life look so put together. Meanwhile, now that we're adults, we're out here Googling how to boil water and crying because the Wi-Fi went out. The truth is, most adults are just winging it. A lot of people that may seem like they have their stuff together absolutely do not, and vice versa. A lot of people who are freaking out about their life are probably much better off than they may think. The older I'm getting, the more I'm realizing that life is pretty much anarchy. The level of put-togetherness we saw from adults when we were younger was mostly because they had made the right choices, and they're obviously acting. But I've heard from a lot of people that once you have children, you will get your shit together because you have to. This might be bad advice, but the logic makes sense to me. I heard somewhere that if you have kids very young, you will be kind of forced to make things work. You'll find a way to make money because your child's life and well-being depends on it. Failure is no longer an option. I'm not going to take this advice. I'm going to wait to have kids. Number 3, we have college is the key to success. Now, I'm not one of those people who thinks that college is a scam.
There's kids in here who don't learn like that. They need to learn face to face. You're just getting mad because I'm pointing out the obvious. And you're just
wasting my time.
No, I'm not wasting your time.
But I think the whole promise of college, just go to college and you'll have a great job waiting for you. No, college is not the golden ticket that they made it out to be. For most people, it was 4 years of stress, partying, overpriced textbooks, and ramen noodles. You've got people graduating with degrees in philosophy, working at Starbucks, and trying to figure out how to pay back that $50,000. Meanwhile, your high school buddy who skipped college and started a landscaping business is out here making 6 figures, driving a truck and living stress-free. Like, what did I even pay for? All right, I'm learning how to write research papers that nobody will ever read. The most insane way I've ever seen a narrative get flipped on its head is the people that once told me YouTube is not a real job and there's no stability to it are now struggling to find a job with a college education. Like, this isn't an I told you so moment.
I
hate you. But it's just to highlight that a lot of the promises that were being made about college were certainly not true. All right, number 4 is work hard and you'll succeed. Here's a classic. If you just work hard enough, you'll achieve your dreams. This one hurts because it sounds so wholesome, but it's also complete BS. We've all seen people who work their asses off but still struggle to get ahead. Meanwhile, you got some influencer on TikTok making millions dancing in front of a ring light. Hard work is great, don't get me wrong, but let's not pretend that it's the only thing that matters. Success is like one of those claw machines at an arcade. You can spend all your money and energy trying to grab the prize, and half the time it slips out of your grasp. Meanwhile, someone else walks up, gives it one shot, and gets the jackpot. It's frustrating, but that's life. The day I learned this was a lie was when I saw a kid on Twitter post a screenshot of a crypto meme coin trade that he did, where he had turned $100 into $1 million. So if you think clicking a few buttons on your computer is hard work and making $1 million as a 17-year-old or something like that in 30 minutes is hard work, I certainly have some words for you. All right, next up we have adulthood means freedom. As kids, adulthood sounded like paradise. You can stay up as late as you want, eat ice cream for dinner, and do whatever you want. Technically, that is true, but at 3 a.m. you should not be wondering why your stomach hates you. The point is, the so-called freedom of adulthood comes with strings attached. Sure, you can stay up all night binge watching Netflix, but good luck functioning the next day at work. And yeah, you can do whatever you want as long as you can afford it. Turns out freedom is just another word for you're responsible for everything now. All the freedom that you've now acquired as an adult has equal and opposite consequences that have scaled. Now that I think about it, I don't know if this one's really a lie, but I think that we just got it twisted when we were younger. We just assumed that freedom was universally good and being able to do whatever you want was a good thing. Like, I feel like a lot of the time adults are their own worst enemies. Being able to do whatever you want is kind of not a good thing in a lot of cases. Being able to waltz into a liquor store at 10 a.m. may not be the greatest thing. All right, next one is that you'll stop caring what people think. They told us when you grow up, you won't care what people think anymore. That's lies, absolute lies. If anything, adulthood just changes what you're self-conscious about. As a kid, you cared about fitting in with your classmates. As an adult, you're overanalyzing texts, stressing about what to wear to a job interview, carefully curating your Instagram feed so it looks like you're thriving. Spoiler, nobody's thriving. We're all just pretending. If anything, I care more about what people think now than I ever did when I was a kid. The stakes are a lot higher now, and there's actually a chance that you will become a failure. You can't become a failure when you're a kid. When you fail at something as a kid, that's just a learning opportunity. When you fail at something when you're an adult, I think a good way to look at it is a learning opportunity, but the reality is, the expectation is that you have things sorted out to a certain extent, and so when you don't, people will judge you. The only difference is, in middle school, you got judged for wearing Skechers, and as an adult, you get judged for driving a used car. I kind of touched on this one earlier, but the next one is that stability comes with age. This one might be the biggest scam of them all. Growing up, we thought like adulthood meant stability. You hit a certain age and everything would just fall into place. Job, check. House, check. White picket fence, check. But in reality, adulthood is just like a never-ending hamster wheel. Your car breaks down, your rent goes up, inflation is through the roof, you can't afford groceries. It is definitely tough. Stability is something you have to be constantly working for, and even then it feels like one wrong move could send everything crashing down. Next up is that you'll finally feel grown up. I feel like there was this idea that there's a magical moment where you're gonna feel like a real adult. Maybe it would happen when we got our first job, paid our first bill, moved out of our parents' house, but here's the thing, that moment never comes. Even if you have a job, a house, and a savings account, you still feel like a kid pretending to be an adult. Like, I feel like I'm supposed to be responsible, but I still panic when I see an unknown number calling me. Alright, next up, the friends you make in school will be your friends for life. Yeah, about that. Fast forward a few years and you're realizing most of your childhood friends are now just names on your social media feed. The truth is, friendships take work, and once you're an adult, everyone's busy with their own lives, jobs, families, endless responsibilities that you kind of stop caring about each other. It sounds grim, but it's just hard to find time to hang out when you're all juggling a million things. Adult friendships are less about constant contact and more about sending random memes at 2 a.m. to remind each other you're still alive. So yeah, growing up was basically one big bait and switch. It sounded like adulthood was going to be amazing, but it's mostly just money struggles, Googling how to make rice at midnight. But hey, at least we can laugh about it, right? Anyway, let me know down in the comments which lie hit you the hardest, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Alright, see you guys all later. Peace. Every school has the quiet kid, but in this video, we're going to talk about all the different types of believe it or not, while you may not hear from them much, they're not all built the same. A lot of them have problems, a lot of them don't have problems, and honestly, let's just get into it. So this first guy is unfortunately the very reason that the quiet kid label itself has a negative connotation, and it is could be a supervillain quiet kid. These are the kids that you're kind of scared of, but really curious about. You know, they're always like drawing something weird in their notebook, like skulls or a detailed battle scene, a beheading. You're not sure if they're an artistic genius or plotting world domination. Either way, this is why people are afraid of quiet kids and why acts of mass violence seem to be attributed to quiet kids and stuff. If they ever get called on in class, like they don't blink or anything, they just give the correct answer like a robot. Just deadpan delivery, perfect answer. It's kind of terrifying. A completely soulless rendition of the proper answer that was required. It's strange and it's a little concerning. In a lot of cases, you don't know this kid's name, but if you do, it's because you're scared that he might try to hurt you or someone you love. So you tell your friends like, yo, look out for Jason, let's say. Kid's mad sketchy. This is the kind of kid who, you know, maybe he's misunderstood or something like that, but it is in your best interest to try to be friends with this guy and like give him a hug or something, because if he's got a list of names somewhere, your goal is to not be on that list. Does not matter what it's for, it's probably bad. You want to be on that guy's good side. Alright, let's lighten up the tone a little bit. This is going to be a bit more positive. Before we get into anything real quick, I gotta let you guys know that I am now on Spotify. All the content on this channel will be over on Spotify, and every week I'll be doing an exclusive episode over there if you guys want to see it. And if you don't want to see it, well, just play it so I make money. Alright, thanks. We're gonna have the really cool quiet kid. You know, the kid who barely talks, but when they do, it's always the funniest or most insightful thing anyone's ever heard. They're like some kind of comedy sniper. One shot, everybody's on the floor. You'd be stressing over a test and they whisper some dumb joke like, hey, at least we can all fail together. some shit like that, you know, something light. A lot of the times, these aren't really fully quiet kids. They're just kids who are not popular and have no desire to really be popular and just kind of do their own thing. They got a small group of friends. They don't really try to be anything they're not. You know, they don't call out in class. They're not here to be a spectacle. They just ride solo. But if you talk to them, I'm sure they'll be nice and you'll maybe make a new friend. These kids are great. A lot of social media has made people think that at all times they have to be the center of attention and stuff like that, but I think it's pretty important that we show some love to the quiet kids. I love saying that after the first guy. I just basically insinuate that he's violent and angry. Next up, we got the mysterious anime protagonist quiet